Hello, everyone, and welcome. You are watching Eagle News America. Thank you so much for joining us. I'm Ace Ramirez, coming to you from Washington, D.C. Tonight, we have updates from several of our correspondents in North and South America. May Davila in Ciudad de Panama reports about Panama announcing its gradual reopening plan for the coming months. Thomas Likeness in Edmonton, Alberta.
Avoiding cash can become expensive.
I'm Malin Ramos in Washington, D.C.
President Trump grants a presidential pardon and issues a proclamation. And latest actions from the White House on COVID-19.
Myla Simbulan in Swarthmore, Pennsylvania.
Pennsylvania Departments of Health, Education, and Human Services are working together as we enter back-to-school season by promoting programs and resources for families with children amid crisis.
May Ann Manzano Guerzon from Sicklerville, New Jersey.
New Jersey gyms to reopen under new rules.
Elmarie Gonzalez in South Haven updates us on how Mississippi is bracing for Hurricane Laura. Randy Bayuga in Parisburg, Ohio.
Ohio governor issues order defining sports rules for spectators.
Julian Fiesta in Delano, California.
Los Angeles moves to make outdoor dining permanent for restaurants throughout the city.
For ABC Sports, Melissa Potes in Orlando, Florida, reports about the Milwaukee Bucks coach and players speaking out on the Jacob Blake shooting. Plus, it's National Dog Day with tonight's Eagle News team. We will share stories about humans' best friend. But first, an overview of the COVID-19 situation. According to the Coronavirus Resource Center of Johns Hopkins University in Medicine, as of 6 p.m. Eastern Time, Wednesday, August 26th, the number of cases of COVID-19 reported worldwide is now more than 23,900,000. Topping the list at more than 5,700,000 is the U.S., 1,600,000, and India, third at more than 3,200,000. The virus has claimed more than 820,000 lives worldwide. This includes more than 178,000 deaths in the U.S., more than 116,000 in Brazil, and more than 61,000 in Mexico. Our coverage begins now. Gearing up for a gradual reopening, Panama announces its plan for the upcoming months. In Ciudad de Panama, May Davila has the details.
The national government announced Tuesday at a press conference the updated national and provincial reopening plan that includes the lifting of some restrictions with a view to drawing the roadmap towards the new normal. These measures will take effect Monday, September 7, as long as 4 factors that have been established are met. It will be essential for the lifting of mobility restrictions and the reopening of economic activities to maintain the effective reproduction rate of 1 or below 1%, the fatality rate below 3%, availability of beds in the room 20%, and the availability of beds in the respiratory care units and in the intensive care units by 15%. Starting September 7, the construction industry and related trades such as those of engineers, architects, project managers, contractors, moving and hauling services, the Panama Pacific Special Economic Area, colon-free zone, private marinas and sport fishing, as well as tailor shops and dressmakers, shoe stores and car washes will be allowed to reopen. The existing sanitary fences will be lifted September 14, but the checkpoints authorized by the Ministry of Security will be maintained. On the same date, the restriction of mobility by gender will be lifted, and the Safe Conduct Pass will be without effect, with the exception of companies that, due to their economic activity, require mobility of their workers during the new curfew hours. New curfew hours will be established from 11 p.m. to 5 a.m. from Monday to Saturday and total quarantine on Sunday. Meanwhile, on September 21, federative sports activities will be reopened but without an audience. By September 28, the opening to the public of restaurants and inns, retail trade, professional services pending to open, administrative and general services, national aviation, family activities on the beach, rivers, and natural parks may commence. On October 12, the curfew will be lifted, including the total quarantine during Sundays. On that date, international aviation, hotels and motels, rural hostels, lodging places, and complimentary services will also be allowed to open. The opening of tourist activities, non-essential transport for recreational and tourism, creative and cultural industries, music and art academies, libraries, swimming pools, and the National Charity Lottery are also scheduled to resume that day. Desde Ciudad de Panama, May Dagala, Eagle News, vivimos en tiempos interesantes.
A financial expert says people who use credit or debit cards because of fear that cash might be contaminated by coronavirus should keep a close eye on their spending. Why? We have our Edmonton Bureau Chief Thomas Likeness with an answer.
Good evening, Ace. How are you feeling about using, some coins, a little bit of folding money? Well, a lot of consumers and businesses since the pandemic have been avoiding it. They fear it's contaminated by the COVID-19 virus. But there's also a danger of using just plastic or playing with your phone. Mike Meyer is a financial expert, University of Alberta School of Business, and he says, people who use credit cards and debit cards all the time should keep a close eye on their spending. Meyer says that's because it's a lot easier to spend money when you don't see it. And of course, there's the impulse buys that people make as well. Now, think about how things work when you pay with cash. You work hard for your money. You put your money in your wallet. You go shopping. You come to buy something. And when it comes time to buy, you take it out. Now, the hard part, you've actually got to part with this. I've worked hard for this. I've got to part with this now. Psychologically, that's just a whole lot different than tapping with a credit card. You don't even think twice about the price. When you pay with money, you're waiting for your change to come back. You're aware of what you're spending. You're not as aware generally when you're paying with plastic. With a credit card, with cash, you're much more aware. With a credit card, the sticker shock is delayed until the monthly statement comes in. Now, let's look at it from a health standpoint, just how dangerous is money. David Evans at the University of Alberta Medical School, he's a virologist there, says yes, bills and coins can be contaminated from COVID-19, but he says far more risky is the door handle you touched going into the store, the shopping cart you pushed, the buttons you pressed on the pin pad. And he adds, within 3 days to a week, any contaminant on money will probably have died. And he says that's assuming it was heavily contaminated to begin with. But he says, for those who are really worried about becoming infected from their cash and coins, try money laundering. Yeah, that's right. He says, wash it in a sink of warm and soapy water and lay it out to dry. Now we move forward to a more cashless society, cashless transactions. Will the world completely abandon cash? Professor Meyer says, not likely. There'll always be a role for those bills and coins for small things, like small purchases, tips, and the like with that, vending machines, another thing. And of course, with cash, there's that anonymity, no paper trail. So will that be cash or plastic? I wish you all good health. Take care of others and take care of yourselves. Stay home, stay safe, and stay tuned to Eagle News for accurate and balanced coverage of the COVID-19 pandemic and other current affairs. In Edmonton, Canada, Thomas I. Likeness, Eagle News. We live in interesting times. Back to you, Ace.
How about in your case, Tom? Do you find yourself paying more with credit cards rather than cash?
I pay everything I can with a credit card because being basically cheap, I want the points. But being basically cheap, I'm also the guy that goes into the store with the blinders on and the shopping list and I know what I paid for, I probably got it added up in my head before I tapped the card. But that's why I tend to use plastic. But for years, I lived on cash at one time, had no credit.
But does that affect your spending using credit card?
For me, no, because just very disciplined in my spending. So, but I know that a lot of people it is. You see something on sale and oh, that's a great price. I'll just pull out the plastic and away we go. And now I've got that 65-inch flat screen sitting in my front room that I'll be paying for goodness knows how many years. So yeah, you have to use some self-control, and that's the one thing that that this business professor was saying. That's the danger is just the overspending, because again, psychologically you're not aware when you have to hand over that money to the cashier. I feel a pinch of regret a little bit. I don't want to part with it.
I agree with that. Thanks for sharing, Tim.
Okay, take care, Ace.
President Donald Trump grants a presidential pardon and issues a proclamation, plus the latest actions from the White House on COVID-19. Washington, D.C. Eagle News correspondent Evelyn Ramos reports.
Thank you, Ace. With the Republican convention underway, it's easy to forget that President still has the difficult task of governing. So we are reporting the latest from the White House. President Trump signed an executive grant of clemency or full pardon for John Ponder yesterday. Mr. Ponder is the founder of Hope for Prisoners Incorporated. According to the White House, it is an organization that Mr. Ponder established after serving a 63-month sentence for several robberies. He is said to have become a Christian and has dedicated his life to help other prisoners. Ponder was originally granted clemency for his past convictions by the Nevada Pardons Board. The president's pardon clears his record of the federal bank robbery conviction. Pardon also appeared and spoke at the GOP convention. A video was released by the White House showing that the president giving a few remarks and signing the pardon. The president stated in the video, quote, "John's life is a beautiful testament to the power of redemption." The president also issued a proclamation yesterday on Women's Equality Day 2020. President Trump spoke about achievements of the women's suffrage movement and its leaders, including Susan B. Anthony, and how women are an essential part of our society. The president proclaimed, quote, "On Women's Equality Day, we remember the trailblazers like Anthony who worked tirelessly to achieve a more just and equal United States. And we recognize the myriad ways in which women contribute to our society and strengthen our country." The president included in his proclamation the various steps his administration has taken to support women, enumerating securing 12 weeks of paid family leave for federal workers, doubling the child tax credit through the historic 2017 Tax Cuts and Jobs Acts, and expanding opportunities for women globally through policies like the Women's Global Development and Prosperity Initiative. On the COVID-19 front, the White House released a statement regarding the latest actions the administration is taking to protect nursing homes. What are some of the actions that the administration is taking? Based on the statement, these are the latest actions. First, requiring all nursing homes to test their staff on a regular basis. Second, testing will occur twice a week, weekly, or monthly, depending on local factors such as an individual facility's risk for COVID-19 transmission. Lastly, nursing homes will also be required to test residents and staff when there are new cases. These requirements were issued by the Centers for Medicare and Medicaid Services and is effective immediately. For more information about these actions, please visit whitehouse.gov or cms.gov. In Washington, D.C., I'm Melinda Ramos, Eagle News. We live in interesting times. Back to you, Ace.
Thank you, May. How is the fight against COVID-19 in DC? What's the latest there?
Yes, Ace. Well, here in Washington, D.C., Mayor Muriel Bowser gives frequent situational updates to keep the D.C. residents informed. It's been quite helpful. And in these updates, she includes the latest statistics. As of August 25, there were 38 new positive cases, bringing the total positive case total to 13,722. The district also reported one additional COVID-19 death. Sadly, 605 district residents have lost their lives. We are still in phase 2 of our reopening here in DC. I encourage all DC residents to always check the situational updates released by the mayor because it has important information relating to schools and wellness for families. You can check it out at mayor.dc.gov or coronavirus.dc.gov. Ace.
Thanks, Emeline. When we come back, updates from our correspondents in Swarthmore, Pennsylvania, Sicklerville, New Jersey, and South Haven, Mississippi. Eagle News America will return after this break.
Hi everyone, it's Kula Desma. Abangan ang part 2 ng Taggisa ng Galing dito lang sa Net 25.
Hello there, I'm Alfred, and I'm a graduate of Bachelor of Science in Computer Science, batch of 2008 in New Era University. I'm currently working as an operations analyst in Autodesk.
Hi, I'm Earl Escanio, and I graduated with Bachelor of Science major in Computer Science in 2010. I am a consultant at Trinity Consulting, LLC.
Hi, I'm Ivy Nakapagal, Bachelor's in Computer Science graduate, year 2010. I'm currently working as a cybersecurity analyst in one of the largest telco here in New Zealand, Coast Park, NZ.
I'm Jofran David Riego, a BS Computer Science graduate here in 2015. As a legal analyst, I am tasked with US cases, specifically civil torts cases.
I am Melanie Rico Hermosa P, a Bachelor of Science in Computer Science graduate, year 2006.
I'm currently a software quality assurance engineer at FBI Systems here in Maryland, United States.
I'm Renzo Cruz. I'm a graduate of BS Computer Science, year 2012. I'm currently working abroad, and I'm working as a senior cybersecurity consultant who specializes in digital forensics and incident response. And I am part of a national security in one of the countries here in the Middle East.
I am inviting everyone to study at New Era University to legit true grit.
Be brilliant in the new era.
Study now at New Era University.
Excellence,
Discipline,
Service to humanity.
You're watching Eagle News America. I'm Ace Ramirez in Washington, D.C. School season is back. Pennsylvania Departments of Health, Education, and Human Services offer programs and resources for families with children amid the virus crisis. In Swarthmore, Bureau Chief Mila Simbulan will tell us more.
Thanks, Ace. Now the school season is here in Pennsylvania. The Departments of Health, Education, and Human Services are working together in ensuring that the families, especially those with children, will overcome all those challenges brought by the pandemic. One of the challenges that parents with school-age children will face are childcare options. Most of the counties here in Pennsylvania are either doing full-time online learning or in hybrid, where there will be days they are going to school and days that they will stay at home. If a child is staying at home, who will take care of them while their parents are at work? The Department of Human Services temporarily suspended regulatory policies when it comes to childcare of school-age children to give them options on learning what they call learning pods. They will also provide assistance to those families struggling financially. Here's Department of Human Services Teresa Miller to tell us more about the other programs available for families. Take a look.
I want to talk about other programs available to families that are enduring both a public health crisis and an economic one. DHS administers most of Pennsylvania's public assistance system. This is Medicaid, the Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program, or SNAP, formerly known as food stamps, the Children's Health Insurance Program, or CHIP, Temporary Assistance for Needy Families, or TANF, and the Low-Income Home Energy Assistance Program, or LIHEAP. In what we once knew as normal times, Pennsylvania's public assistance system served approximately 3.3 million people. 3.3 million people who were able to go to the doctor, purchase food for themselves and their families, heat their homes in the winters, and pay bills because of these programs. The economic crisis caused by COVID-19 has made these programs even more crucial for more Pennsylvania families.
This school year will definitely be different compared to the prior years. That's why the Pennsylvania administration officials are encouraging parents and guardians of school-age children to reinforce routines and practice habits that prioritize a child's mental, physical, social, and emotional health. What else should we prepare as parents? Here's Department of Health Secretary Dr. Rachel Levine. Take a look.
For parents and caregivers, here are some key things to add to your back-to-school list. An extra cloth mask in your child's backpack. Plenty of hand sanitizer. Showing your child how to wash their hands for 20 seconds, or as we all know, the time it takes to sing Happy Birthday twice. Teaching your child to avoid touching surfaces and then touching their face. And make sure to see your pediatrician to make sure that your child is up to date on their immunizations, including, and it's so important this year, a flu vaccine. If your child is sick, make sure that they stay home from school, especially if they have symptoms that could be consistent with COVID-19. This could include fever, cough, and shortness of breath, chills, but also diarrhea, sore throat, and a new loss of taste or smell.
The Pennsylvania Department of Education, or PDE, have been working with partners inside and outside the government throughout the summer to help school leaders on how to reopen schools. Public health guidance and recommendations from PDE has been distributed in school districts in the Commonwealth. Governor's Emergency Education Relief, or GEER, funding of $87.5 million was also distributed. Here's Department of Education Secretary Pedro Rivera to tell us more about it. Take a look.
Where they learn teamwork and develop resiliency. To help our educators and families be mindful of how social-emotional learning is impacted under the current conditions, the Department of Education has made resources available on approaches to student and staff wellness during COVID-19. These resources will continue to be updated in the coming weeks. We also know there's great concern for our students with special needs. With our partners at the Pennsylvania Training and Technical Assistance Networks, or PATN, and the Peel Center, PDE has made resources available to support educators and families to ensure these students receive the supports they need to adapt their educational plans. We also distributed $20 million in federal funding to provide educational services for students with disabilities who may be negatively impacted by COVID-19 mitigation efforts and may encounter additional challenges through the new academic year.
There are two very important priorities Pennsylvania educators, school boards, and community members are committing during this pandemic: the health and safety of everyone and the rights of our children to continue their educational journeys. In Swarthmore, Pennsylvania, Myla Simbulan, Eagle News, we live in interesting times. Back to you, Ace.
Thanks, Myla. Let's say someone in the school is positive for COVID-19, whether a student or staff. Is there any protocol in place?
This is a very good question, Ace. Schools already have protocols in place because in the past, they've been having all those, if a child has measles, let's say measles or whooping cough or MRSA, they have protocols already on how to communicate to the parents. So they will use the same protocols that they've been using in the past. But according to the Department of Health Secretary, there's anonymity on the person who's found positive with COVID-19, and that information will only go to the Department of Health, but the school will not be informed about it. Ace?
I see. Good to know. Thank you, Myla. Gyms in New Jersey are set to reopen soon, but under Sticklerville. Unit correspondent May-Ann Manzano-Borzon reports.
Thank you, Ace. Governor Phil Murphy announced today during his coronavirus briefing in Trenton, New Jersey, that New Jersey may reopen at 25% capacity effective Tuesday, September 1st. Gyms have been allowed to operate for about a couple months, but only on a limited basis. Here are the new rules for gyms when they open their doors again on September 1st. Take a look.
Next today, I will be signing an executive order allowing all gyms and health clubs and indoor amusement facilities to reopen to their members and customers beginning this upcoming Tuesday, September 1st. When the doors reopen at our gyms, capacity will be limited to 25% at any single time. Fitness classes will also be allowed to resume, but their capacity must be limited to one customer per every 200 square feet of classroom space to ensure proper distancing. These protocols will also apply to fitness activities like Pilates and yoga classes that were already permitted to resume. All gym goers are required to wear masks at all time when in the gym. Employees and staff must wear masks at all time, even trainers working with a client. And logs of when all gym members and staff are in the facility must be maintained, so should a positive test be received by someone who was in a gym, our contact tracers can get right to work notifying other gym goers who were there with them. Additionally, on the floors, equipment is to either be moved and spaced to allow a minimum of 6 feet of distance between all gym goers, or where equipment can't be moved, certain machines must be cordoned off so that gym goers are at least 6 feet apart. So, for example, in a row of treadmills, this may mean that only every other treadmill will be available for use, and only equipment that can be properly sanitized in between uses should be made available. As many gyms have transitioned to outdoor activities, those may continue pursuant to current limits for outdoor gatherings, and so long as members can maintain a safe 6-foot social distance. Judy and her team at the Department of Health will be following
that his administration planned to meet with gym owners and that he was taking their concerns very seriously. Officials said that Governor Murphy is allowing the reopening of gyms because New Jersey's new positive cases and the rate of transmission have trended in the right direction, and because masks can be worn at all times inside the gym. Meanwhile, here is today's statistical report of New Jersey's COVID-19 cases. According to the Department of Health of New Jersey, there are 288 new positive cases reported today, bringing a statewide total of 190,306 New Jerseyans tested positive. Sadly, we have 11 new deaths, pushing the total to 14,134 fatalities. New Jersey's current rate of transmission is 0.80, while spot positivity rate is 1. 0.99%. New Jersey remains on stage 2 of its road to recovery. And for some weather update, Ace, it's now 10:07 in the evening here in Sicklerville, and it's partly cloudy. Our current temperature is 73 degrees Fahrenheit, or 23 degrees Celsius. A low of 69 degrees Fahrenheit, or 21 degrees Celsius. The high today was forecast as 82 degrees Fahrenheit, or 28 degrees Celsius. In Sicklerville, New Jersey, May and Manzano Garzon, Eagle News. We live in interesting times. Back to you, Ace.
May Ann, what actions will be taken against those who will not abide by the rules on gym reopening?
Ace, there was no mention with regards to penalty or legal charges, but in the past, Ace, the administration of Governor Murphy has taken action against gym owners who defied the orders. In fact, one gym owner in July was arrested because he refused to close his gym. So it sparked a court battle, and that has resulted so far in nearly $130,000 fines. Ace?
Wow. Thank you, man. Mississippi braces for Hurricane Laura. In South Haven, Eagle News correspondent Elmarie Gonzalez has the details.
Thank you, Ace, and hello from South Haven, Mississippi. On Tuesday, Mississippi Governor Tate Reeves announced an update regarding Hurricanes Marco and Laura. He stated that Marco has dissipated and imposed only a little threat in the state. However, Laura is being monitored very, very closely, which is currently Hurricane Category 1, but is forecasted to become a powerful Category 4, prompting warnings of an unsurvivable storm surge, with evacuation orders happening in Texas and Louisiana. Although Mississippi may not be directly in the hurricane's path, Mississippians need to be aware of potential risks such as tornadoes, high winds, and significant amount of rainfall in the western part of the state. According to the Director Michelle, although we may miss the brunt of the storm, there will be second, third order effects with the rainfall, wind gusts, and spin of tornadoes across the entire state. Potential for a lot of rainfall up in north parts of Mississippi is storm surge watch of 1 to 2 foot in Harrison County, and the more of the surge in Hancock County and upward of 5 feet. He also added that for the 5-day forecast, there will be no tropical waves out there right now. When it comes to COVID-19, Governor Tate mentioned, although the situation has been improving, the threat is very much present. There has been a leveling off of the previous decline that could be a sign of a rebound of total number of cases. On Sunday and Monday, Mississippi had a higher total number of cases compared to last week, according to the governor, which included 796 cases last Tuesday, 801 as of yesterday. He stated that we need everyone to continue to try. We need everyone to continue to make an effort. It is important today as it has ever been. This fight is not over. The updates in the hospitalization and on those under ventilators have continued to decline very rapidly over the last 10 days. According to the District Health Officer, Dr. Thomas Dobbs, the recent addition of 801 COVID-19 cases brings the state total to 79,206 and 67 additional deaths, bringing the total COVID-19 related deaths to 2,315 as of yesterday. Hospitalizations have decreased to 730 cases, which included 232 ICU and 119 ventilator cases. Since the school is started already in Mississippi, Dr. Dobbs also gave an update in regards to the number of teachers in the district that has been affected by this virus. For this week, from July 17 to 21st, 144 new teachers cases reported, 292 students, 31 outbreaks for the last week. Total of 584 teachers quarantined and 3,913 students quarantined. He also emphasized that if you lose your sense of smell and taste, you have coronavirus. He added that it is a relatively unique thing. He advised to isolate yourself, call your doctor, and be well. COVID-19 tests for teachers were conducted in the counties of Tunica Homes, Chactao, Yazoo, Clark, Lauderdale, Pontotoc, and today's schedule will be done in Grenada, Lafayette, Sunflower, Knoxville, Rankin, Wilkinson, Greene, and Hancock counties. The testing will be available from noon until 7 and with schedules posted on different social media networks and will be conducted as drive-through and no-wait time according to the governor. Hope you are staying healthy and safe over there in your part of the country, Ace. In South Haven, Mississippi, I am Elmer Gonzalez, Eagle News. We live in interesting times. Back to you, Ace.
Thank you. Coming up, more updates from our correspondents in Harrisburg, Ohio, Delano, California, and Orlando, Florida. We will return shortly. Stay with us. This is Eagle News, America.
Sa Agosto 26 po ay unang taon ng anibersaryo ng pagpapasinaya po ng bagong gusali ng Iglesia ni Cristo Museum. Sa buong isang linggo ay may nakatakda pong aktibidad at sa araw po na ito, Agosto 25, yun po ang ating isasagawa, ang paglinga po sa mga frontliners po natin. Bago po ang araw na ito ay naihanda at naigayak na po namin yung mga kailangan, yung mga gagamitin para po doon sa mga medical frontliners po natin na sa araw po na ito ay lilingapin po ng Iglesia ni Cristo Museum Cafe. Po ay ang Philippine Children's Medical Center sapagkat doon po sa ospital na yun ay amin po napag-alaman na kailangan po nila ng donasyon at sila man ay may mga pasyenteng COVID patients. Diliman Doctors Hospital, NEU General Hospital. Una sa lahat, siyempre, nagpapasalamat po tayo sa ating Panginoon Diyos. Pinasangkapan po niya ang ating pong tagapamahalang pangkalahatan para maisagawa po ang ganitong aktibidad na napakahalaga po sapagkat ito po ay bahagi ng pagbunita po sa pagsisinaya po ng gusali ng Iglesia ni Cristo Museum.
Muli ay nagpapasalamat po kami sa inyong walang sawang pagtulong.
And happy anniversary to INC Museum. Thank you!
Welcome back. You're watching Eagle News America. I'm Ace Ramirez from Washington, D.C. Ohio Governor Mike DeWine issues an order to spectators in Harrisburg. Randy Bayuga has the details.
Thank you, Ace. Get ready, Ohio sports fans. The first phase to open sporting events to spectators has come. Governor Mike DeWine states that the main purpose for permitting spectators to at school sports events is for officials and loved ones of players, coaches and team staff members, other event participants to attend. The order limits the maximum number of spectators gathered for indoor and outdoor sports venues for youth, collegiate, amateur, club, and professional sports. outdoor sports venues are allowed the lesser of 1,500 or 15% of the fixed seated capacity. Indoor sports venues allows the lesser of 300 or 15% of the seated capacity. If the seating capacity of the venue can accommodate more, they can write to their local health department and Ohio Department of Health. For the number of fans allowed beyond the family, will not allow beyond the family members of both teams and others who may be performing during the event. Participants are still expected to follow social distancing rules and are not allowed to gather. Not into sports. The order also allows other entertainment venues such as theater, auditoriums, concert and music halls, ballrooms, gymnasiums, convention centers, arcades, bingo halls, and even laser tag facilities. The same indoor and outdoor variances for sports venues applies to entertainment venues. Additional specifications include clearly marked and spaced lines, one-way entrances and exits, signages to indicate social distancing, elevators and escalators must be monitored and limited to proper social distancing standards. Glass barriers between ticketing staff and the patron, and distance from performers and patrons must be at least 12 feet or eliminate the first and second rows. Also, elimination or limiting of intermissions to prevent people from congregating. There are more details available at ohio.gov. As Ohio continues to move forward towards what was normal, the governor and his staff continues to remind us to be more responsible as Ohio continues to move forward. Ohio COVID stats continue to climb. Counties in public emergency level 3 has dropped, now down to 8. However, concerns over rural areas in public emergency level 2 continue to climb. Overall, based on the 21-day trend, all stats are within acceptable range and trending down. The cases, there are currently 116,495 cases of confirmed COVID instances, and it is currently trending down. Deaths at 3,996, it is also trending down. Hospitalizations, 12,956, it is trending up. ICU admissions at 2,903, and it is trending up as well. As the governor and his staff will continue to monitor Ohio's progress, especially now as students enter their second week of school. From Perrysburg, Ohio, Eagle News, Ronnie Bayuga, we live in interesting times. Back to you, Ace.
Ronnie, are you ready to attend a concert or an event at the theater?
I would love to attend a concert or event at the theater, Ace, but maybe just limit myself to a musical at the theater. The crowds are a little bit different at a concert or a theater, and concerts tend to be large and lots more people. So I'd rather stay at if I was daring, I'd stay and watch a show at the theater.
Soon, when everything becomes normal again. Back to normal.
I'm looking forward to it.
All right. Thanks, Randy.
Thank you, Ace.
Outdoor dining for restaurants might become permanent throughout Los Angeles. In Delano, Eagle News correspondent Julian Fiesta has the story.
Thank you, Ace. Los Angeles moves to make outdoor dining permanent for restaurants throughout the city. Los Angeles City District 4 Councilman David Ryu announced his formal proposition to make a permanent outdoor dining program for restaurants as an upgrade to the current temporary outdoor dining program named LA Al Fresco that was launched by Los Angeles Mayor Eric Garcetti in late May to assist restaurants to reopen and extend their daily operations outside of their place of business. This LA Al Fresco program was only temporary with permits granted by the city for 90 days and was accomplished in 2 phases. The first phase began last May 29 with the city approving applications to approve restaurants to extend their dining services onto the city sidewalks and private parking lots. The second phase took place last June 26 and approved the restaurant to apply to extend their dining services to street parking spaces and street/lane closures. This latter stage aims to assist businesses of BIPOC, which stands for Black, Indigenous, People of Color, owners and those located in areas of the city that were heavily impacted financially by the pandemic. Based on the positive acceptance of business owners and customers, the LA Al Fresco program proved beneficial and well-received as it assisted and supported Angelenos' favorite local restaurants to remain open with approved city permits to use the sidewalks, parking spaces, and street closures in holding their outside dining services wherein employees and customers can maintain the required 6 feet social distancing while enjoying their meals safely. In his press conference last Friday, Los Angeles Mayor Eric Garcetti declared that he is extending all LA Al Fresco current permits until the end of 2020, since 1,486 businesses have benefited from this program, so restaurants can continue their dining services outdoors, employ their workers, and provide services safely for both employees and customers. The mayor also stated that businesses can still apply for this program if they have not yet done so. Councilmember David Ryu announced his permanent outdoor dining motion, which, if approved, will be another version that is more permanent and still in line with the goals and objectives of LA Al Fresco. He stated, quote, LA Al Fresco has been a lifeline to our local restaurants. It's a resource that should be permanent in the city of Los Angeles. We need more programs that cut through red tape to support local businesses and give communities a new sense of vibrancy. I commend the mayor for creating LA Al Fresco, and I think it should be here to stay. As for the update on the COVID-19 situation here, the number of new cases increased today with 1,642 newly reported cases and 58 new deaths. The total number of confirmed cases in the county are 235,386, with 5,663 deaths and 1,186 hospitalizations as announced today by the Los Angeles Public Health Department. Meanwhile, in the state of California, the number of new cases increased today with 6,004 newly reported cases and 115 new deaths. The total number of confirmed cases now in the state are 679,099, with 12,407 deaths and 4,365 hospitalizations as announced today by the California Department of Public Health. In Delano, California, Julian Fiesta, Eagle News. We live in interesting times. Back to you, Abe.
Julian, how much would it cost the business owners to apply for this permit for outdoor dining on city streets and parking spaces?
So this permit actually isn't expensive at all. It's free to apply and free for the permit once it's approved. Since there's not a fee to apply for this permit, restaurants and other types of eateries should really consider this program to boost revenue, provide jobs for employees, and service Los Angeles residents, while making sure that everyone is safe during this pandemic. However, the city reminds businesses that processing of applications can typically take around 19 days, so applying as soon as possible is strongly encouraged. Ace?
Thanks, Julian. And now for EBC Sports. First, a police-involved shooting of a black man. The Milwaukee Bucks coach and players speak out on what happened to Jacob Blake. In Orlando, EBC Sports correspondent Melissa Potes reports.
The Jacob Blake shooting in Kenosha, Wisconsin brought more attention to the nation on racial justice. Milwaukee Bucks coach Mike Budenholzer, forward Chris Middleton and Senator Brooke Lopez speak on Sunday's incident that happened 32 miles south of Milwaukee.
Just like to send out my thoughts and prayers to Jacob Blake and his family, another young black man shot by a police officer. We need to have change. We need to be better. And I'm hoping for the best for him and his family. I'm hoping for the best as we work through this in Wisconsin and Milwaukee and in Kenosha. So thoughts and prayers with Jacob Blake.
We definitely, we didn't talk about it as a team yet. I mean, some guys have seen it, some guys have not. But I mean, I think this is why, we have so many people outraged over the country. The man was shot 7 times at point blank range in the back. I mean, it doesn't get, any sicker than that. I mean, I think people are starting to see why, black people, colored people are so, afraid of police, because at any time, no matter what type of position and no matter what they did, right or wrong, their first act is to shoot us. I mean, I think that's a very scary situation to be in when they're supposed to protect us.
We had a great talk today before our film, just with Coach Bud kind of leading, giving us a few minutes to just say what's on our mind. And, a lot of guys, Wes, Ben Baker, Darv, brought up some great points, but I think the most important thing in the consensus was just not being complacent in these times, just because we're in the playoffs, in the bubble, there's obviously so many more important things going on right now. And this is huge, so it's a cultural moment where we all have to continue to be vigilant, continue to use our platform when we can to speak out against injustices like these, to speak for the people who can't. And we can't stop doing that because for some reason these things continue to happen. And, we just have to use our platform that we have every single day to speak out against it and do what we can to try to be the change and bring that change that we want to see in the world.
Tune into Eagle News for continuous coverage and stories from the NBA bubble. In Orlando, Florida, Melissa Potes, Eagle News. We live in interesting times.
Thanks, Mel. News Best Friend Stories on National Dog Day. That's next. We will return shortly. Stay with us. This is Eagle News, America.
The New Era University, in its 45th year of excellence, discipline, and service to humanity, will offer online education at all levels beginning this first semester academic year 2020 to 2021 through the NEU Virtual Learning Environment, or NEUVLE. New Era University offers a complete basic education cycle from kindergarten up to senior high school, offering all strands. NEU has 18 colleges, and 2 graduate schools. It also offers ALS and ETF. Best of all, NEU has the most affordable tuition fees among private universities in the Philippines. NEU is at Quezon City, the city of San Fernando, Pampanga, General Santos City, South Cotabato, Lipa City, Batangas, and Pinugay, Baras, Rizal. New Era University is under the stewardship of Dr. Dilo L. Rosas. What are you waiting for? Be part of the new normal. Enroll now. Classes start on October 5, 2020.
This is Eagle News America. I'm Ace Ramirez in Washington, D.C. August 26th is National Dog Day. According to nationaltoday.com, this day dedicated to dogs was created in 2004 by Colleen Page, a pet and family lifestyle expert and animal advocate. The purpose? So that all dogs can be celebrated, and likewise to encourage adoption of dogs in shelters. August 26th is when Colleen's family adopted her Sheltie when she was 10 years old. Since August 26, 2004, that's 16 years ago, it is reported that approximately 1 million dogs have been adopted in the U.S. Tonight, we chat with our Eagle News team about their happy dog stories. First, let me share ours. My dog is Kai. Her name is Kai. She likes to sunbathe. She hates the rain. She sleeps upside down on the couch, and she loves playing fetch after I walk her before bed. I remember there was one time, there's Kai, right there, sunbathing. I remember I left her on the couch before going to bed, and in her usual position, she was upside down. And when I woke up in the morning at 8 a.m., she was still in the same position. I swear, I panicked. I almost called 911. I thought she had a heart attack or something. But she was fine. I just did this, and she was up and about, running. Correspondents, share your stories. Let's start with Thomas.
Well, Ace, I had an obedience-trained German Shepherd dog. Got him as a pup and spent about 6 or 8 months training him. And actually, I had help from the canine division of the local police department. I knew a number of the officers there. So they gave me some tips on how to train a dog. And part of it, of course, was taking him to class so that he was being trained around distractions. But German Shepherds are a very, very loyal dog. If I was walking down the street and stopped to talk to somebody, the first thing the dog would do is stand between me and the person I was talking to. He was very, very protective.
Very protective.
This dog loved kids, and every kid that he came into contact with, he adopted. And one of the neighbors' young girls caught on to that pretty early. And so she would hide out in our backyard, and her father would have to call me to bring the dog in because the dog wouldn't let him come in to get his daughter. And she'd figured this out. She'd figured this out, that he was going to be very protective of her because she didn't want to go home.
I'm sorry? What's your dog's name again?
Oh, the dog's name was Buzz. B-U-Z-Z. Buzz. He was about 120 pounds. I wish I had a picture of him. But yeah, and what a character. What a character. He ran away from home once. Some kids found him, took him home. He ended up coming back riding in the back seat of a police car, looking like he was the part. He was a character, that dog. Unfortunately, I don't have a dog anymore. We're just at a point in life where we aren't home all day. And, you know, having a dog is like having a 6-year-old kid.
That's true.
You know, they're very, very dependent on you. And they get lonesome if you leave them home all alone all day.
Or a younger one.
Why we don't have a dog now. But let's hear some other stories.
All right. Thanks for sharing, Tom. Myla, what's your dog story?
Hey, Ace. So I don't own a dog right now, but I have every now and then I doggy sit. Actually, it's my daughter who doggy sit, but I help her do doggy sitting. So that's the only dog story I have for you today.
What kind of dog does she dog sit?
I am not sure. I'm not good at dogs, but their names are there are 2 dogs that we doggy sit. Their names are Milo and Miko. But as far as the breed, I know they're you know how they do breeding now. They're a combination, but I don't know what it is. Yeah, I'm not really good at dogs. So.
Right. Well, I bet pretty soon you guys are going to have your own. Let's hear from Imelin. Imelin, what's your dog story?
Hey Ace, our family dog, the name is Chino. He's our family dog in the Philippines. He's 12 years old, and the last time I saw him was 2 years ago when we went back home. I miss him so much. Well, the story of how we got Chino was very interesting. So we went to the pet store, and we were supposed to get this chubby Shih Tzu, but the chubby Shih Tzu was not playful and was lazy. There was now this other dog that was very friendly and charming, and to be honest, he's not a handsome dog. But at the end, that's who we decided on. Well, Chino is not the smartest of dogs. He doesn't have much tricks, but he is sensitive to the emotions of the family. I think he knows when someone is sad or lonely, that he sticks with that one the entire day and asks for a belly rub. Talk about our family's cheerleader and mascot. Oh, I miss my dog now.
I definitely miss Chino a lot. Thanks for sharing, Imelin. Mayanne, what's your dog story?
Well, Ace, it's a pity that I am not a pet person, so I actually didn't have my own pet dog, but I am happy to share with you tonight a very heartwarming story of two dogs that my brother-in-law Albert and his wife Esther adopted. So, are we showing the pictures right now? Okay, so these two dogs are Goofy and Brandy. Goofy is a Doberman mix, while Brandy is a half Labrador, half Pit Bull. And according to my brother-in-law, so they were adopted a year apart. According to my brother-in-law, when they were adopting Goofy at the shelter, everyone was getting or adopting puppies, and everyone was avoiding dogs that are 1 year old or older, and everyone was adopting or avoiding aggressive dogs. So apparently, Goofy was very aggressive, and he was returned to the shelter a couple times already. But since my sister-in-law Esther is such a dog hero, she said, if we are going to rescue, then we should really rescue. So they went for Goofy, and now he is better. And for Brandy's story, that's also very heartwarming because these two are really dog heroes. So when they were adopting Brandy, my brother-in-law Albert said that people were intimidated by her because she lost her voice at the shelter because she kept barking because she was so stressed of the environment. So again, people were avoiding her and intimidated by her, and they didn't want the fact that she was a half pit bull, or she is a half pit bull. But again, my dog hero sister-in-law said, then if we will really have to rescue, then we should rescue. So they again adopted Brandy, and the good news is that only after a couple days she got her voice back, and it turned out that she's a very kind dog. She is good with kids, good with other dogs, and she is potty trained. So my brother-in-law and wife Esther, they were very happy, and now they're like a happy family.
That's a good find. Pit bulls are intimidating, but yeah, they are. Some people think kids might be in trouble around them, but they're pretty mild. All right, let's hear from Rani. Rani, what kind of dog do you have?
Well, we got two dogs. One is a Maltese Bichon mix. Her name is Bella. She's a nice white little dog, and there she is. And she's like, the first few months that we had her, I didn't think she was a dog because she doesn't bark. She just kind of squeaks. But she loves to be cuddled, and she loves to, just to be in bed with you. And then the other one there is Max. Max is 12% of this and that, and 12% of this and that. But when we bought him, actually the kids went out to buy him. He was supposed to be a Shih Tzu. But I said that doesn't look like a Shih Tzu. But Max has a cool talent and a magic. We call him Magic Max also, because Max can somehow get out of his leash, his collar especially, and we don't know how. But he's pulled out of himself out of his collar, and many times. But and Max loves to protect Bella, so he's the younger pup of the two.
Max sounds interesting. Sounds like a magician.
Yes, he's the magician.
All right,
Magic Max.
And Julianne, what's your story?
Okay, so we have our dog. Her name is Mochi, named after the food that she is. She's not the cutest, but she's... oh, look at her squinting. She is super weird. She's 5 years old. She's half Chihuahua, half something else. We don't know. And the weird thing is, we were actually in a period of not having dogs. We had dogs a little while ago, but a couple years ago, we gave them to other people because we couldn't take care of them with how busy we were. And I was in college, and one day we randomly found out. I randomly came home and saw that we had a dog. Now, Mochi is really weird because she lives outside, but every now and then she'll come inside our house. And we have wood floors, so the traction is a little bit different from the pavement outside. So she doesn't know how to walk. Instead of walking on the wood floors, she'll crawl. She'll just crawl from here and there on her belly, and it looks so weird and so odd. And then another really weird thing that she does is usually when you first talk to your dog, when you first see her or you first make eye contact, usually they'll come up to you, they'll jump on you, they'll lick your hand or something like that. Rather than doing that, she'll flop upside down in whatever position she is, wherever she is, once you make eye contact and ask for a belly rub. She doesn't come up to you, she just falls wherever, in whatever position she is, wherever she is.
Mm-hmm. Well, thanks so much for sharing, Julian. And everyone else, correspondents, thank you for your dog stories tonight. Whether barking or not, mild, definitely. One thing we agree upon is that we all love our dogs. Happy Dog Day. But we continue to thank our healthcare workers, first responders, and essential workers. We do appreciate your dedication. And before we let you go, here's our gift to our furry family members on National Dog Day. This is Eagle News America. Thank you for joining us. I'm Ace Ramirez. We live in interesting times.